Hello students, how are you? I hope you all are good बच्चों. Very good. So today we are going to start our new chapter बच्चे which is based on अनसीन कॉम्प्रीहेंशन. जो आपने कभी भी ऐसे कॉम्प्रीहेंशन देखे ही ना हो. अनसीन मतलब यही तो होता है, ऐसे पैराग्राफ, ऐसे कॉम्प्रीहेंशन जो आपने नहीं देखे हो, उनके बेस पर कुछ क्वेश्चंस दिए गए होते हैं और आपने खुद से उन आंसर्स को फाइंड आउट करना होता है पैराग्राफ के अंदर से, और तब आंसर एक ब्रीफली तरीके से प्रेजेंट करना होता है विद द हेल्प ऑफ योर आइडियाज के बेस पर, मीनिंग्स के बेस पर, और डिटेल्स वहां पर प्रेजेंट करनी होती है. सो लेट्स बिगिन बच्चे. Under unseen comprehension is a passage or poetry is given on which the meaning has to be grasped. This is chosen to ensure that the students have not read it before. It is aimed at testing the ability of a student to express in his own words what he has understood from the passage. This action may contain a variety of questions pertaining to details, facts, meanings and other grammatically manifestation. So यही तो होता है. अनसीन कॉम्प्रीहेंशन बच्चे इसलिए यूज किए जाते हैं ताकि आपकी एबिलिटी को चेक किया जाए कि आप किस तरह से अपने वर्ड्स में अच्छे से आंसर को प्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं, एक्सप्रेस कर सकते हैं. ओके, डिटेल्स, फैक्ट्स, मीनिंग्स और अदर ग्रामेटिकली मैनिफेस्टेशंस के बेस पर. सो हाउ टू अटेम्प्ट अनसीन कॉम्प्रीहेंशन. देखिए कुछ ना कुछ ऐसा तो होना चाहिए ना ताकि आपको इजीली समझ में आ सके कि अनसीन कॉम्प्रीहेंशंस को कैसे हम अटेम्प्ट करें. सो यहाँ पर कुछ पॉइंट्स हैं बच्चे जो इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स होते हैं, जो आप अगर फॉलो करेंगे तो इजीली आप अच्छे तरीके से आंसर को फाइंड आउट कर पाएंगे. सो फर्स्ट वन इज हियर, रीड द पैसेज केयरफुली. If needed, read it 2 or 3 times in order to make out its central data. Read the question and then read the passage to locate the possible answer. Mark them in the passage before writing the answer finally. When answering a question, do not add any fact from your own side. Though you should try to answer it in your own words. Ensure that the answer written by you is relevant to the respective questions. Answer the questions clearly, without any ambiguities, perfectly in the tense of the question. Revise your answer finally before you proceeding on to the next question. So यहाँ पर बच्चे कुछ आपको एग्जाम्पल्स के साथ समझाया गया है अनसीन पैसेज प्रॉपर तरीके से देते हुए कॉम्प्रीहेंशन को कि कैसे कैसे आप इनसे प्रैक्टिस कर सकते हैं. सो हम रीड करना शुरू करते हैं बच्चे. रीड द फॉलोइंग पैसेज एंड आंसर द क्वेश्चंस दैट फॉलो. Helen Keller was aged 2 when an illness took away her sight and hearing. Since he was deaf, she also lost the ability to speak. For we learn to speak by imitating what we hear. So as a child, she lived in a dark and silent world. At first, it seemed impossible that she would even understand others or to be understood by them. Hers was thus a very lonely world. She was helped by a wonderful teacher called Miss William, who has herself been blind as a child but recovered her eyesight after an operation. Miss Williams volunteers to help Helen and taught her to speak, read and write. Helen later went to the universities and even gained her degrees. She then spent the rest of her life working to help the blind and the deaf. उसी पर बेस्ड बच्चे जो हमने अभी कॉम्प्रीहेंशन पढ़ा था उसी पर बेस्ड ये क्वेश्चंस हैं. ये आंसर आपने खुद से फाइंड आउट कर लेते हैं. जस्ट वी आर गोइंग टू रीड इट. ओके, रीड इट कर लेते हैं एक बार. When did Helen Keller lose her eyesight and why should she not learn to speak? Why was it impossible for her to understand others to be understood by them? How did Miss Williams guide Helen Keller? How did Helen Keller live in a dark and silent world? Pick out words, phrases from a passage which means as same. So copying an action, got back and removed. तो इस तरह से आपने कंप्लीट करना है इन आंसर को खुद से. नेक्स्ट देख लेते हैं बच्चे. रीड द पैसेज गिवन बिलो एंड आंसर द क्वेश्चन दैट फॉलो. Usha's athletic achievements are well known to the almost all Indians. 2 silver medals in the 1982 Delhi Asian Games, 4th place in the 400 meters at the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics, best females athletes of the 1985 Jakarta Asian Meet and 4 golds and 1 silver at the 1986 Asian Game in Seoul. P.T. Usha's stories is that of a gifted child from humble origin, achieving international success through sheer dedication and immense hard work, said the professors of English in Usha's hometown. Never is the history of independent India has a youngest from the remote backwards towns of rural origins got an imagination of youth in particulars and the public in general as Usha has. So उसी पर बेस बच्चे क्वेश्चंस दिए गए हैं. जो पैराग्राफ है, What are Usha's athletic achievements? How did Usha achieve international success? What was the remark of her professors in Usha's hometown? Find one word in the passage which has the same meanings as each word shown below. One who is intelligent, devote time and energy to a noble cause. Next पढ़ लेते हैं बच्चे. Next one is the Himalayas are beautiful mountains on the north of India. They stretch 4,000 miles from Kashmir to Assam. Some of the world's highest peaks are located in the Himalayas. The highest peak is Mount Everest. The tops of the mountains are covered with snow throughout the year. Therefore, we call them the Himalayas or the abode of snow. There are many beautiful lakes and forests in the Himalayas. Many passes connect India with Tibet and Afghanistan. Many rivers, the Yamuna, the Brahmaputra, the Beas flow from these mountains. The climates and the scenery of these mountains are so charming that people have built many hill stations there. Many visitors go to the hill stations for pleasure and relaxation. Questions हैं बच्चे, questions read out कर लेते हैं, उसी passage पर based है. Where do the Himalayas stretch from and to? Name the highest peak of the Himalayas. Why are the Himalayas collect the adobe of snow? Why have many hill stations been built across the Himalayas? Why do visitors go to these hill stations? Pick out the words from passage which mean the same as like extend, top, attractive. Find words from the passage which mean the opposite of like ugly and lowest. Next passage, read the passage given below and answer the question that follow. The sure way of making and keeping friends is to become a good listener. Take great care to listen to a person with interest. Also make sure that when you speak yourself, you say only as much as is needed to open up some fresh topic for the other person to start conversation. People don't like to be interrupted by others while speaking. They wish to put their views forward. So one that delighted in the company of someone who is content to listen attentively. Most of the friendships begins by little acts of kindness, sympathy and understanding to lonely folks. Sincerity is the keynotes for friendship. For sincerity include loyalty, sympathy and trust. The common interest will draw you very close to some friends. Questions हैं बच्चे, how can we make good friends? What is the right time for conversation? What is the keynote of friends? And how can you come close to someone? Explain the meaning of the underlying word phrases पर based है, वो आपने खुद से complete करना है. Next है बच्चे, read the passage below and answer the questions that follow. In every country, people imagine that they are the best and the cleverest and the other are not so good as they are. The Englishman thinks that he and his country are the best and many Indians imagine that India is many ways is the greatest country in the world. It is wrong to think along these lines. Every person in the world has some goods and some bad qualities. In the same way, there is no country which is not partly good and partly bad. We must take the good wherever we find it and try to remove the bad wherever it may be. We are, of course, most concerned about your own country, India. Unfortunately, we cannot call it fully good because of several problems being faced by it. But our peoples are trying to solve these problems as best as they can. So, उसी पर based बच्चे questions हैं, read out करते हैं इनको. What two feelings do the peoples of every country have? What two things does every person have? What should we do with the good and the bad? Why can we not call India fully good? Pick out the words from the passage which mean not fully and related. Next, बच्चे, read the passage given below and answer the question that follow. For most of us, our skin works very well. It protects us from sickness and helps control body temperature. But artificial skins could be a big help of some people. Artificial skin is made of two layers of materials. One layer is a rubber like plastic. The other is made from the same chemicals as real skin. When would a person need artificial skin? If a person is badly burnt, much of his or her skin might be damaged. Artificial skins can help the burnt surface of the body heal. Artificial skin is placed over a person burn. The artificial skin protects the body from the sickness. It covers the body until the person's skin grows back. When the real skin has grown in place, the artificial skin falls off the body. Think how important this artificial skins could be for people who have been badly burnt. उसी पर बेस्ड बच्चे क्वेश्चंस हैं. What are the two functions of our skin? What are the two types of artificial skin? When does a person need an artificial skin? How does artificial skin help a burnt person? What happens to the artificial skins when real skin grows? Pick out the words from the passage which mean upper layer of the body, not real. Next है बच्चे. Next passage read out करते हैं. The dams not only save the water of our rivers for irrigation, but they do other things as well. The dams not only save the water of our rivers for irrigation, but they do other things as well. They control floods in the rivers. When these are floods, the gates of the dams are opened and the water flows down the rivers and into the canals. The water does not overflow the banks. The dams also do other important things. For example, they make electricity. The water in the dams falls on giant turbines and turns them. The turbines turn machines which produce electricity. Some years ago, only the cities and the big towns in our country had electricity. But nowadays, a lot of it is produced by the dams. So, a large number of villages, both small and big, get electricity supply. Question है बच्चे, what three important things do the dams do? How does a dam help control floods? How does dam water produce electricity? Pick out the words from the passage which mean supply of water to fields and crops, flow the excess water in the large quantities. Next passage बच्चे, read the passage given below and answer the questions that follow. A cup of strong tea produces a calming effect, stimulating concentration and capacity to work. Tea contains nearly all the vitamins and exists in nature as well as many useful substances like iron compounds, magnesium, iodine, calcium, silicone. Freshly made tea is tasty and beneficial if some simple rules are observed. It is best to keep it separately in a jar. If kept open, its aroma escapes and it loses its taste and curative properties. Stale tea should not be taken. Tea is equally good for young and old. In springs, when a child is often short of vitamins, this is tea which would come in handy. Tea is an excellent cure for colds. A fresh, strong, fragrant tea with honey and hot milk gives a relief to a person suffering from cold. Tea gargling scratches away a sore throat. For diarrhea and dysentery too, it serves both as cure and nourishment for adults as well as children. Questions देख लेते हैं बच्चे. How does a cup of tea affect a man? Why should tea not be kept open? When would tea come in handy? Name the diseases that can be cured by tea. Explain the words, phrases underlying the passage. जो underlines पे दिए गए हैं बच्चे, उनको आप करते रहेंगे. Next passage read out कर लेते हैं students. Read the passage given below and answer the question that follow. Our world seems to be the grip of speed age. Don't you see everyone's in a great hurry to reach somewhere? God knows where and why. Out of the roads, fast moving vehicles are driven faster. Pedestrians also appear to be running instead of walking. Queue or no queues, half-leased people push their way through the crowd. Injuring or hurting women, old people or even small children, doctors, lawyers, even shopkeepers have no patience or time to listen to you or attend to you. People have no time even to have their food peacefully, and so fast food joints have sprung up everywhere around. No surprise then that so many suffer from hypertension or heart diseases. Even nature seems to have joined this race. Years, months, weeks and days seem simply to fly away as if to make mankind faster, but where the question remains. Questions देख लेते हैं बच्चे. Why does everybody seem to be in a great hurry? What do we see on our roads? What is the reasons of fast food joints coming up? How does nature appear to join the race of speed? Why do people suffer from the hypertension? Pick out from the passage the word which mean. Row of people come up. Pick out the words from the passage which are opposite in meaning like slow, enjoy and give the passage a suitable title. आपने खुद से देना है. Next passage है बच्चे, read the passage and answer the question that follow. It is unfortunate that while very extensive of mankind is dependent on the existence of forest, it is man alone who is the greatest enemy of forest. The forests in our country have been steadily destroyed during the last 30 years. They are often cleared for purpose of agriculture, settlements, for building towns and cities के लिए. After from legal deforestation, there is a lot of illegal deforestation carried out by people. The uncontrolled grazing by sheep, cows and buffaloes, cutting down trees for making charcoals, building factories, roads, canals, schools and colleges, etc. are some of the other reasons for deforestation. What is needed today is a massive program of forest conservation. So इसी पर बेस्ड बच्चे क्वेश्चंस दिए गए हैं, रीड आउट कर लेते हैं इनको. Why are the forests being destroyed rapidly? Give any example for which illegal deforestation is carried out. In what 3 ways is man dependent on forest? What should be done to protect forest? Explain the underlined word from the passage and pick out the word from the passage which are opposite of the following words like fortunate and legal. नेक्स्ट है बच्चे, रीड द फॉलोइंग पोम एंड आंसर द क्वेश्चन दैट फॉलो. सो पोम दी गई है बच्चे, उसी पर बेस्ड यहाँ पर भी क्वेश्चंस होंगे जैसे आपने कॉम्प्रिहेंशन में पढ़ा, सेम एज इट इज. सो लेट्स बिगिन. My playmate, I often wonder how it is that on a rainy day a little boy just like myself comes out with me to play. And we step in all the puddles when walking into town, but though I stand in a right way up, he is always upside down. I have to read upon his feet, which is a sorry sight, with my right foot on his left foot, my left foot on his right. I really wish he'd talk to me. He seems so very kind, for when I look and smile at him, he does the same I find. But I never hear him speaking, so surely he must be in some strange land the other side just opposite to me. So ये पोम लिखी गई है बच्चे मैरी ऑस्बॉर्न के थ्रू. तो इसको पढ़ेंगे. मैरी आई ऑस्बॉर्न नेम है बच्चे जो पोइट है यहाँ पर, और उसी पर बेस्ड यहाँ पर क्वेश्चंस दिए गए हैं, उनको रीड आउट करते हैं. What is the poet talking about? When does the playmate come out to play? Write the rhyming words to the following like day, town, sight, bee. Can you give a new titles to the poem? Next है बच्चे, read the following poem and answer the question that follow. A night in June. जून की नाइट पर बेस्ड है बच्चे. The sun has long been set. The stars are out by 2 and 3s. Our little birds are peeping yet among the bushes and the trees. There's a cuckoo and 1 or 2 thrushes, and a far off wind that rushes, and a sound of water that gushes, and the cuckoo's sovereign cry fills all the hollow of the sky. विलियम वर्ड्सवर्थ के थ्रू बच्चे लिखी गई है पोम, ये पॉइंट है इसके. सो इसी पोम का बेस्ड बच्चे क्वेश्चंस दिए गए हैं, इनको रीड आउट करते हैं. क्वेश्चंस, व्हाट इज द पोएट टॉकिंग अबाउट? राइट राइमिंग वर्ड्स ऑफ द फॉलोइंग लाइक सेट, trees, rushes, cry. Find out the meaning of the following words, hollow and thrushes. इनके मीनिंग भी आपको फाइंड आउट करने हैं खुद से. सो यहाँ पर बच्चे चैप्टर के अंदर बहुत सारे आपने एग्जाम्पल्स पढ़े, लाइक यहाँ पर किस तरह से आप कॉम्प्रीहेंशंस को कंप्लीट कर सकते हैं विद द हेल्प ऑफ रूल्स और रेगुलेशंस के साथ. कुछ रूल्स हैं, अगर उनको अच्छे से फॉलो करेंगे तो आप इजीली फाइंड आउट कर पाएंगे किसी भी आंसर को. और यहाँ पर पोम भी आपको दिखा दी गई है, पोम भी आपको एग्जाम्पल के साथ बताई गई है. तो इनको भी थोरोली जितने भी क्वेश्चन आंसर हैं बच्चे इस चैप्टर से रिलेट करते हुए वो आपने खुद से करने हैं.